Everything kind of started out of necessity, you know?
Yeah.
The first rig I built was on Paris trucks. And the Paris trucks, I put a plate on it so that I could, on the tube chassis, that I could take an angle and make, you know, different angles on my, I could adjust the angles on my Paris trucks. Yeah. They're fucking horrible. I'm thinking to myself, I go, how in the hell are guys riding around on this thing doing any kind of speed, you know? And my whole background was you know, radius rods and Hymens and tube chassis. Let's build a tube chassis and make a steering system out of radius rods. Yeah, piece of cake.
Yeah, sounds easy, right?
So,
yeah. Let me just revolutionize the industry, just, you know, no problem.
But I mean, that's literally how it came about. It was just you know, out of pure necessity for something that was better. Because there was, back then, there was absolutely nothing. There was nothing good out there.
Now, when did you win the first race on your V5 or what board was it?
SoCal Performance Day 2.
Day 2, you won.
Well, SoCal Performance Day 1, I went 45, and we went faster than anybody else on that day by a bunch. And we were running open spurs just like we do now, except for they were a mod 0.8, which is a little tiny tooth. And we were running these motors. They were, let's see here, they were 4092 motors. They were 40 millimeter by 92 millimeter long. They were little tiny in-runners. And they were, let's see here, they were 1240 kV. They were just a shit ton of kV in those motors. But, you know, I think we're running maybe a 9-to-1 ratio on that thing. So you know, it's just a matter of getting the ratio right to the kV, right, with the size of tire you're running. We were pretty close in there, but we were really, the motors made good power, but if you ran them a long time, they get warm, they get hot. And so, you know, eventually we stepped up and got bigger motors, and it's you know, it's a challenge. And for me, it's all about the carrot. When I was racing stock cars and racing sprints and midgets and stuff, it was all about trying to get to that point where you're up at the level of everybody else, right? But it's different. The cool thing that really drew me to this was it's kind of like the guys that were coming back from World War II. All right, and drag racing wasn't really a thing. Stock car racing wasn't a thing. But these guys all came back and they had all these newfound skills and shit that they learned. And they're young and they're just fearless. And automobile racing was born from that. You know, whether you were hot rodding or drag racing or circle track racing, all those guys came back. They didn't know what the fuck they were doing. It was a brand new open slate. Nobody had a pull down rig back then. Nobody had a wind tunnel to test shit in. They just kind of figured shit out and tried stuff, you know? And that's kind of where we're at here at this, even today. I mean, we've figured a lot of things out and gotten a lot better at a lot of things, but we ain't got everything figured out. Not even close. So another thing on this truck that we didn't lose from the 3-link. So the 3-link, you're able to take your hanger and adjust the thrust angle on it, which for me, it's a real important deal. You ever seen a board where it's going down the road and it's dog tracking? It looks like the back end's getting ready to pass up the front. Anyways, that's because the hanger's out of square, and sometimes it has to do with like a base plate pattern drilled off, or maybe the shit's just junk that they're riding on. But you see it a lot of times on dual kingpins. They'll have a little sideways action going on. So the 3-link was really nice because you could adjust your thrust angle, which is, basically getting the hanger center lined on the board.
Yep.
This one does it too.
Yeah.
So all you got to do to change your thrust angle on here is crack this front loose, and you turn, whether you want to go in or out, you turn half a turn, 2 turns on the inside, and you can watch your hanger come right around. You're right back to tightening it down, and you're done. Your thrust angle's done. Yeah. It's fast. Whereas on the 3-link, you would have to grab your radius rod, break loose the right-hand thread, break loose the left-hand thread, and then run the jack screw back and forth till you got everything centered up. So it's just another thing that got a little simpler, but I think it's an important thing to be able to have everything lined up and square when you're doing 40, 50 mile an hour on a skateboard, 2 things that I wanted to do with this truck system is that with the 3-links, the hanger, it rolls, it pitches, it yaws. It does 3 moments. So it's kind of a complex thing, and a lot of guys will go up and look at it and they shake their head and they walk away from it because it's just too many things going on. What this one does is it simplifies everything to a single plane. The truck is back on a single plane like you would have on an RKP or a channel truck, with the exception that it's on spherical bearings, so it's 100% precision. When you're riding around on pivot cups, anything that has a pivot cup has a wear and a play index to it. A spherical is precision. You can't get any more precise than a ball and socket that's rotating on each other. So this thing here is a chrome on chrome, and then it has a nylon insert on it for lubrication. And the spherical deal, it puts the deck and the hanger on 100% mechanical link. You don't have anything in there to cause any oscillations, to cause any kind of frequencies. It's 100%. Yeah. So anyways, the spherical thing, in my mind, is the only way to go on a truck. With the 3-link, it was 100% spherical, but there's a lot of moving parts going on in there. And back when I designed it, it just seemed the best way to do to make the function happen at that time. And now with this, it puts it on a single plane. I think that people hopefully will come up and look at this and understand what the hell is going on a little easier, a little quicker. And the deal, you just come up here and just take and adjust your truck. It's just that quick. And then you tighten it up and you're done, You go to the track, you drop it down. If you get on the track and you feel, well, I need a little bit more straightaway, I just need that line so I can pull that throttle down all the way. You can take and drop a little bit more angle out of the truck. You can change the angle of the truck virtually. You don't have a stopping deal where, like, if you put a base plate wedge in there, you're like 5 degrees, 5 degrees, 5 degrees. The old 3-link, you had 10 to 15 degrees per hole on that. This thing, you can micro it down to half a degree if that's, what you think you feel you need. We've got a lot of different options on the bushing duros. We've got cupped and uncupped for the pickup point on the bushing on the outside edge, so it controls the bushing or doesn't control the bushing. So we've got a lot of options on there, whether you like something that's very light that doesn't have any ramping rate up to something that has a hard ramping rate. It immediately gets into the bushing as you're turning it. So a lot of options there. I'm really proud of what we did over the years working with Brad and our bushings, and really proud of what we were able to accomplish there. Like I said, the very first one we rode, it didn't have bushings on it at all. We went out to the desert and tested, we're doing speed testing out there. I did 57 miles an hour before I even met Brad. And that was on, we had bushings on the front and the rear, but they were strut rod bushings out of a car that were cut down. So yeah, they're rubber.
I think that's the video you went down, right?
That's the one where I did this. I remember sliding and ragdolling.
I got a question, Mo. Yeah. With e-skate struggling, do you think that this type of innovation is kind of what we need to be able to continue e-skate and make sure it goes in the positive direction rather than the downward direction I feel like everything is?
Now, what we need is we need to get the sport exposed to people. This is such a cliquey, hidden, nobody knows about it type deal. I've talked to a couple of different promoters on this. I talked to Teflon guys, and I talked to the Full Send guys, and Mike Beard and those guys. I really think that if we are to get our sport to the next thing, one, we got to put it in front of people. We got to figure out a way to do it, right? So, and I've talked to them about this. Across the country, we have county fairs. Every county has a county fair once a year, right? And the county fairs, like the fair boards, they're always looking for entertainment for the people, to draw people in, something for them to do while they're in the county fair, spending their money and spending their time. Dude, if we could get a couple of races in a county fair in front of people, it wouldn't cost us anything, because the county fair would say, here's your area, here you go, right? They already have the insurances put up for it, and they have when they have people come in and put on productions and stunts and stuff like that at county, they have all kinds of crazy shits at county fairs, right? So if we had a race at a county fair, you're talking, if you're maybe a 4 or 5 hour period, you've got 30 to 60,000 people that you're putting this sport in front of for no money. Literally, it's just a matter of somebody contacting somebody and setting something up.
Now, I got a question. Does this replace the 3-link?
Time will tell. Time will tell. If something works as good, and it's simpler, I'll tell you what. So one thing about the 3-link is that this area right here is the critical fulcrum area right here where it picks up on here. So all your leverage from the hanger is loaded right here on this one spot on either side of the carrier heim. And with this design, we've got a wishbone. So everything out to the edge of the wishbone is now doubled up on strength. So this thing being off-road, whatever, thump on it, torque it. We haven't really had too much issues with the other one, but it's stronger now. So will it replace it? I don't know.